Grand Ole Opry legend Stringbean Akeman and his wife were murdered in their home back in 1973.
Before his passing, Roy Clark spoke about one of the darkest chapters in country music history, the shocking night that claimed the life of his close friend, David Stringbean Akeman. It was a story Nashville could never forget, and Roy's words shed light on the pain, the memories, and the haunting truth behind it all. David Akeman was born in 1915 in Jackson County, Kentucky. He grew up during the Great Depression in a world where money was scarce, but values were strong. From an early age, David found joy in music. With no money to buy instruments, he built his very first banjo out of a shoebox, a piece of thread, and some sticks. That homemade creation sparked a love that would define his life. Eventually, he traded 2 chickens for his first real banjo, and from that moment, there was no turning back. By his teenage years, David was already known across his small town for his quick wit, humor, and banjo playing. One night, musician Asa Martin brought him on stage, but forgot his last name. Looking at David's tall, lean frame, Asa joked and called him Stringbean. The audience laughed, and just like that, a lifelong nickname was born. The name fit perfectly. Stringbean's mix of comedy, charm, and musical talent made him a natural entertainer. He soon became part of Bill Monroe's Bluegrass Boys, one of the most important groups in the history of country music. Later, he earned his place on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry, where audiences loved him for his humor, his unique singing voice, and his old-fashioned style. And when he joined the cast of Hee Haw, millions across America welcomed him into their living rooms week after week. But off stage, Stringbean lived a much simpler life. He and his wife Estelle built their world around love, laughter, and faith. They owned a small cabin in rural Tennessee, far away from the glitz of Nashville. Friends often described them as the kind of couple who would give you the shirt off their back. Yet, the hardships of the Great Depression had left their mark. Stringbean never trusted banks. Instead, he hid thousands of dollars in cash inside his home, under mattresses, inside closets, and even tucked away in clothing. Few knew this secret, but it would tragically draw the wrong kind of attention. On the night of November 10th, 1973, Stringbean performed at the Opry, as usual. After the show, he and Estelle drove home. What they didn't know was that 2 cousins, John and Marvin Brown, were waiting inside their cabin. They had heard rumors of hidden money, and their greed turned deadly. As Stringbean and Estelle walked through the door, the Browns ambushed them. In a brutal and senseless act, both husband and wife were shot and killed. The next morning, their friend and fellow Opry star, Grandpa Jones, arrived to pick them up for a hunting trip. Instead, he found the heartbreaking scene that would haunt him for the rest of his life. Nashville was devastated. Fans and musicians alike struggled to understand how such kindness and talent could be met with such cruelty. The Browns were eventually caught and convicted, but the pain did not fade. Years later, workers discovered hidden stashes of cash inside Stringbean's cabin, money he had trusted to keep safe from banks, but never lived to spend. The tragedy became one of country music's most chilling legends, and when one of the killers was shockingly granted parole in 2014, the story once again resurfaced, reopening old wounds for those who remembered the couple with love. Roy Clark's words about his friend remind us that behind every laugh and every note of music was a man who gave joy to millions, yet met a fate that still casts a shadow over country music history. Stringbean's story is a reminder of how fragile life can be, and how even in laughter, darkness can sometimes strike. If you want more untold stories and hidden truths from the world of entertainment, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and stay tuned to Backstage Eyes, where the real stories live on.